Hello, how are you today? Welcome back to Umanzango channel. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button to always get notified when a new video drops. Today I'll be talking parenting. We all want to be good parents and want to see our children grow to be good and responsible people. In addition, we do not want to repeat the mistakes our parents made while bringing us up. Here are some tips on how to parent your kids without shame and hurt. Without shaming them and hurting them. Of a fact, all children will behave in unacceptable ways at one time or the other. I've wanted to talk about this for a while now, but something happened this week that finally triggered me to get this topic over with. Before I say what the incident was, I want to paint a scenario that many of us are very familiar with. As a young child, you did something wrong or made a mistake to the displeasure of your parents. And instead of being allowed to explain yourself, what you get is a serious beating or scolding, such that leaves you hurt. And for some of us, that memory sticks, and we find it hard to let go even after many years. This kind of scenario made a lot of us promise not to repeat some mistakes our parents made with our own children. Now to the incident. My 18-month-old son always plays with this ceramic bowl in my office, the kind used as a tabletop decor, and has always done that for as long as I can remember. Once he enters that office, this is one of his first points of call. Unfortunately, some days ago, he went to play with it as usual and broke it. I was tempted to smack him, but then I cautioned myself. Why? I thought to myself, he's just a child who was just being himself and enjoying what he was doing. Unfortunately, the bowl broke in the process. Secondly, will smacking him return the bowl to his original form? Thirdly, I felt we were both at fault because if I was probably paying more attention to him, the story might have been different. As a parent, it is tempting to shame and hurt your kids, whether consciously or otherwise. Why? Maybe because you think to get the child back on the right track, or teach him or her not to be destructive or wayward in any manner, or to avoid a repeat of the wrong done, or for whatever reason you may think or to justify your action. But sincerely, it doesn't always work that way. Shame is a negative emotion that combines feelings of dishonor, unworthiness, and embarrassment. Shame is different from guilt. It makes one feel like a bad person, as if something is wrong with you, while guilt tells you that you did something wrong. A sense of guilt, when it comes naturally, can correct performance. Instead, shame condemns. Fortunately, there are many ways you can guide children towards appropriate behavior without shaming them. 1. Resist the urge to shame, guilt trip, pass negative judgment, or ridicule them in ways that seem harmless. Also, resist the urge to make them feel stupid, dumb, or bad about themselves. A lot of times, we do not intend to shame them on purpose, but that is the message they get. This may be due to the way we expressed ourselves. There's a huge difference between, "What? You missed it again? How many times will you be taught?" And, "Oh dear, you missed it. Let's try one more time and I'm sure you get it after that." Guide them without criticizing or judging them. 2. Focus on the behavior, not the person. Kids will always do things that displease us or get us angry. Rather than making a comment about them, talk about what they've done. Rather than, "You're such a naughty boy." Why not say, "I'm upset that you did that. Is there a better way you could have done it?" You achieve more success when you correct with love and patience. 3. Model the behavior you want. There is no better way to influence children than to be the person you want them to be. As a mother, you are your child's first teacher. He or she picks up so much from you, more than you know. This means that you must try as much as possible to always be the best. Mind your language, your actions, the way you dress, and relate with other people. Children don't learn only because they are told what to do. They learn because they see what you do. An example is my son. He always touches any child he meets affectionately below the chin. And I always wondered where he got that from, until one day I found myself doing the same for a friend. And that was when it dawned that I usually do this for those close to me. So he naturally picked it up for me. Now, I didn't necessarily have to tell him to be friendly or show affection. Instead, he picked it naturally. And if it's also a bad habit, that's how he would have picked it up easily. Let them see consistency between what we say and what we do. Don't tell them to do this while you are doing the opposite. It just tells them that as a child, you're allowed to do this. Then as an adult, I can do this. Number 4, never compare your child with another, even if they are siblings. Realize that each child is unique in his or her own way. Harness each one's uniqueness to bring out the best in them. John and Jane are both your children. And while John is topping his class, Jane is just okay being an average student, but instead she has interest in music and art. Now, don't make comparisons. Encourage their individuality and give them freedom to explore without forcing them to be something they are not. Also, be careful while talking to other parents, as it can trigger your own shame and make you feel like you are not doing a good job in bringing up your children. 5. Encourage their inquisitiveness and welcome discussion on all issues. Children are very inquisitive by nature, which can be very overbearing towards us parents, but never shut them up. They just want to add to their wealth of knowledge, and as much as you keep shutting them up, twice as much they keep asking until they get the answer they want. Welcome discussions on various issues, especially when they are in that phase where everything should have an explanation. When questions are asked, don't give them the wrong answers to make them stop. Instead, give them answers that suit their level of understanding. Another advantage is that they learn to talk and share their thoughts and emotions freely with you. 6. Resist the urge to punish. This is very hard, especially in an African society, but it is achievable. Punishment is a penalty that is imposed on someone for wrongdoing in order to teach a lesson. I know some will say spare the rod and spoil the child, but I'll borrow a question from a friend. Can it be done in a better way? Can the child be guided in a better way than punishment? I remember some punishments that I was made to undergo when I was growing. Though not for my parents, but even at this age, I still remember vividly, and this led to some decisions. One of which is that I must be very vigilant when it comes to my children. For me, I prefer to be corrected gently. No cane, no shouting, no insults, no punishment. Advise the child calmly, make him or her see reason why his or her action is very wrong and he needs to change or do it better henceforth. I'm sure this will do more than a smack or punishment, which a lot of times basically hurt and shame the child, especially if done in the presence of other siblings or relations, or worse, in public, or when the child is actually innocent. Instead of punishment, build that connection with your children. Empathize and set limits such that they know the difference between right and wrong without being told. Some other people advocate for constructive punishment, which doesn't inflict pain, shame, or hurt the child. In this way, parents can give the child other tasks to do which are more productive and fruitful. Now, when they feel shame, which they will at one point or the other because of something they did or something someone said to them, it's important not to ignore that. Encourage them to talk about it and let them know it's okay to feel disappointed and take responsibility for their mistake, but they need to focus on the learning rather than the mistake. And finally, parenting is not an easy job. If and when you get it wrong, don't beat yourself too hard, just the way you've been encouraging your children. I'm sure a mistake once in a while won't hurt them since it's not the norm. Here's where I say my goodbye today. Don't forget to like this video and you're free to share. It's also free to subscribe to my channel. What has worked for you in training your child? Let's know, especially if they are different from those on my list. Until next time, you're doing a wonderful job in training your child, and by God's grace, your effort will not be in vain. Bye.